take this down. I want to urge you guys, as you are stepping out to do this, you're here because you feel called to do this, right? This is why you're here and why you want to do this. You feel a calling to reach out and to do this kind of thing. Don't go out and do it ill-equipped, okay? You need to get all the information you possibly can. A, because you are going to get in situations where you're talking with people about this issue. You need to know the facts. You need to know the information. And that's what you need to be telling these young ladies if you get the opportunity to talk to them. Get the facts, not the rhetoric, not the things that people are telling you, but get the truth. AfterAbortion.org has all, he's a doctor who has pulled together all this information, done a great deal of studying on the after effects of abortion. I'm going to go to the video. Right now I want to share a short video clip with you of women who have been hurt by abortion. One thing I did share with you at the beginning of the presentation is Operation Outcry is made up of women and men who've been hurt by abortion, who now know the truth and are speaking out and sharing their stories so that others aren't hurt as they have been hurt. So I want to share this with you real quick.
If abortion was a prescription, what I would see on the label as the side effects are a lifetime of pain, alcoholism, drug addiction, nightmares, thoughts of suicide, hearing your baby scream in the night, never being able to change the choice that you made.
If the true risks of abortion were told before a woman got an abortion, she would never choose abortion. The risk of abortion for me included lowered self-esteem, that it led to depression and suicide attempts. The risk of my abortion included a near divorce experience, an inability to bond with my children, an inability to accept love from my future husband. It included a feeling of rejection because of the shame and guilt of the abortion, so that affected every relationship that I had for many years.
You experience severe guilt, depression, anxiety, anger, unforgiveness, sexual dysfunction, relationship disorders, bonding issues with your living children.
Anger, guilt, bitterness, numbness, pain, low self-esteem, emotional pain, unworthiness, feeling like you're empty and you can't be filled, no matter how much alcohol you drink or how much you're being hugged by men, or you know, relationships, loneliness.
For me, and any woman that had the abortion, it was a danger. You'll withdraw, you'll become bitter,
danger, hazardous to your health. They call spiritual death, self-hatred, depression, could lead to suicide.
Emptiness, loneliness, resentment, torture.
I was just having thoughts of suicide and
beyond no recognition,
just acting out sexually with men and pure slavery, stealing and just anything and everything, trying to fix the void and the emptiness that I had inside me.
humiliation, no self-esteem, no hope, no dreams, no nothing. When the reality sets in, what you've done, you need an act of God to pull you out of it, and that's what it's going to take.
The list goes on and on. There's not enough room on a packet of pills to list the side effects of abortion.
It's pretty intense, huh? It's okay, you're fine. Those ladies have been through quite a bit, huh? I suppose you guys are wondering why.
Oh, we're ready to turn off.
How do you turn it off?
Like that.
Yeah.
No, you have to take it back. Oh, good. Okay. Sorry about that.
Why do I do what I do? Why am I involved in Operation Outcry? Because I'm one of those women. And I'm going to kind of give you a little disclaimer before I start sharing my testimony. I share different components of my testimony depending upon who I'm talking to. I feel like it's really, really important that you guys understand what you're getting yourselves into. These young girls, as they go in there, they're scared to death. They're going to be some are going to be angry like that woman and indifferent, kind of cold. But the majority of them are scared. Okay? And when they walk out of there, they're forever changed. All right? And when I share my story, I share different bits and pieces of it. Sometimes I share the whole thing. Sometimes I get graphic. And so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you all the details of what takes place in that abortion facility and what happened in my personal experience. Okay? I was 24, and I was raised in a wonderful home by two godly parents. I was a good kid. I went to high school with this young man over here. And never really did a whole lot of anything in high school. I was a good kid. But when I grew up, some things happened in my life and I started making some bad decisions. So by the time I'm 24, I'm involved with a man in a relationship, and we are sexually active, and I got pregnant. The first words out of his mouth to me were, "You're not having it, are you?" And I remember that sinking feeling inside, thinking, well, he's not going to be the knight in shining armor, and he's not going to save the day, right? All my friends told me, you need to have an abortion. Just have an abortion. If you do it early, it's no big deal, okay? And they'll solve your problem. And because I was raised in this home by these two wonderful parents, I didn't want to go to them and tell them, hey, I've gotten pregnant outside of marriage. I was afraid. And so I bought the lies, and I caved to the pressure, and I chose to have an abortion. Now, I'm originally from San Antonio, Texas, and so I went to an abortion facility in San Antonio. It was like any other place you would go to. You go in, you fill out a bunch of paperwork, and you sit and wait. And my best friend from high school was the one who took me. A little tidbit is that I took her for an abortion years before when we were in college. And so now she's taking me for mine. Sat there and waited, did a pregnancy test to confirm I was pregnant, and then they called me into a room with 5 other women for what they call counseling. Okay? Now, how many of you have gone to a doctor, for whatever it is, and gone in with other patients to be talked to about what's going on with you? Have you ever had that happen? Well, I was called in with 5 other women, and they had these pictures up on the wall and had the cells. Didn't have this. Okay, they had the early stages of gestation where the sperm meets, the egg, and it's just the early stages. It said it's a blob of tissue. They talked to us about reproductive health. They talked to us about STDs. They talked to us about birth control. They said abortion is a quick, simple, easy procedure. 20 minutes, you never have to think about it again. And they said, is this what you want to do? We're all shaking our heads. And there's a woman sitting next to me. She's a lot older than me, probably how old I am now. And she said, I've got a whole bunch of kids at home. I cannot afford another mouth to feed. I've already had 5 abortions. 1 more is not going to matter. And I remember 5 abortions. It took everything in my power to be there that day to have 1 abortion. This woman's had 5 abortions. But it also did for me is like, if she's had 5, this is no big deal. I can do this. So I was ready to do it. They took me to the next room and they did an ultrasound. And it was an older machine, and it was a small little screen on there, and they had it turned away from me. And I said, I want to see it. And she says, I don't think it's a good idea. And I said, no, I want to see before I do this. She sighs. She clicks some buttons. She runs the probe across my stomach again. And then she turns the screen to me and points to a white dot on the screen. She says, that's it. Now are you ready to go? I thought, okay, I can do this. Now what I know now is she was not showing me what I needed to see. She was not showing me my baby. I was 8 weeks pregnant when I